Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all my blessed beloveds out there in Living and Thriving Land. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rusty, and I'm Rusty. I am doing a whirlwind tour of 175 people from all edges, parts, places of the planet to find out what makes people tick. What is the ooey gooey on the inside? Why do they get up in the morning? What do they do that's fantastic and community oriented? Today's show is going to be a little bit of a plot twist because I normally don't have people who are in sales and marketing, but Stefan evidently has something to share to help us grow on a business level. Is that correct?
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
You just looked at me blank. I was like, hey, I just asked you a question.
I came in the middle of a question, so I may have
Okay.
missed the first part.
Hi, Stefan. Who
Hi,
are
Rusty.
you? What do you do? And what makes you you?
Okay, my name is Stefan Ciancio. What I do is I run a online marketing agency slash education business that helps people learn about opportunities to build and grow an online business. What makes me me? Uh, that's a that's a loaded question. I would say that um, what makes me me for sure is I definitely have a lot of passion for what I do. I have a lot of passion for showing people things that they don't know about because I'm all about broadening people's perspectives. I got into the whole entrepreneurial realm pretty late in terms of a sense that, I went to college, I did the traditional route that most of society kind of preaches. And, I learned around age 24, 25 that there was a lot of other options that I never knew about. So what makes me who I am, I think in large part is my passion for kind of helping others learn about more opportunities out there.
So, what I love about that is I set you up for a delightful conversation for the next 25 minutes. So,
Okay, I'm
it's
excited.
very interesting as a human. We're just a sack of water, dichotomy, and we're surfing on this huge rock into infinity without a steering wheel. We don't like difference, but we always want to be different. But when we're asked why we're different, we have a real hard time articulating what makes us us. What gets you up out of bed? What excites you? What motivates you? And it takes a lot for somebody to come from themselves. But in the marketing world, it's really easy to look at other people and go, oh, it's this, this, and this, and this, and this. Bada bing, right?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Sometimes there's a lot more that meets the eye behind, the marketing as well. I think there's a lot of like inner engineering, for lack of a better term, that goes into like being able to do certain things in marketing. But obviously, when you're looking at someone through like a very specific lens, you don't get the full picture. So, I think when it comes to marketing, it's I guess it's good to kind of like look at other people and what they're doing in marketing, because I think a lot of people market um, they market they market what they want you to see. And it's definitely important to, I guess, take that with a grain of salt whenever you see someone marketing themselves or something else. Like, just understand that that's a piece of what they are showing, they want you to see. They're not showing you the whole picture. So
Well, and I think that's what marketing is. It's kind of a slide of cards or the man behind the curtain. You don't want to get into full detail, but you want to be enticing enough where they enter your storefront, right?
exactly, yeah. It's as long as you don't confuse it with absolute reality, I think that it's pretty powerful to see marketing for that, what it is, I guess, in a sense of it's just a piece of the puzzle of like what that person is showing you. So
So, what are your tips and tricks to start out in marketing? I mean, we're in the midst of a plague that we haven't had. We haven't had a plague in 100 years. The whole world is kind of if and burping and starting and stopping and shutting, and it's just a huge mess, not only politically but environmentally. And personally, I am tired of being hit with all of this marketing, especially from companies that I already know exist. Like, I drive down the road, there's a Wendy's, McDonald's, a 7-Eleven. Like, we know that they're there, so why do I have to have 15 ads about the same thing? personally,
Sure.
if you're going to hit me with marketing, hit me with the mom and pop shops that really need us right now. Um,
Right.
so in this process of chaos, what do you recommend for newbies who are like, well, I'm going to take advantage of this and start my own business?
Great point. First of all, on the ads being bombarded in front of everyone, I think that that's only happening. It's only, unfortunately, only going to happen more and more, especially now that everything is online. There's not as much in-person commerce, and there's not going to be for quite a while, obviously. So, but to your question about newbies getting started with online marketing, getting started with their business, finally getting it off the ground, I mean, I think this is a great time to do that. Me personally, you know, I've been really buckling down for the last 6 months, and you know, as much as I want to go out there and do stuff, obviously, you know, it's not the time for that. So I've been really focused on my business, trying to get the word out there to help people kind of understand exactly what you just asked me, which is, you know, how can someone get out there? So to answer that question, there's a lot of different routes you can take when it comes to growing your business. So one of the things that I actually teach is Pinterest marketing. So a lot of people don't really know a lot about Pinterest, but you know, most people think it's like putting up recipes and like pictures of cute puppies, and it is that, but it's also a whole lot more. There's a whole world on Pinterest that you can tap into. The people are constantly searching on Pinterest, and it is a content discovery platform, and it is a search engine, believe it or not. A lot of people think it's just like a social media platform, but there are people searching for stuff. There's billions of searches done every month on Pinterest. So if you can get whatever it is you're selling, maybe you have an e-commerce store, maybe you're a coach of some sort, maybe you are an influencer or something in that realm. If you want to get seen on Pinterest, 9 times out of 10, your niche is going to be on there.
Okay,
So,
so hold on.
okay,
So I'm an old lady, you're a young dude. We got to take
okay,
this slow, okay?
okay,
Now, I like my Pinterest because I'm a tiny house obsessor. I love tattoos. I love artwork, Frida Kahlo. And because of you coming on, I was like, I haven't been on Pinterest in a while. Like, I'll save on Pinterest and my little folders, but I haven't really paid attention to it. And I have like 15,000 people there. I
oh
don't know
wow,
where they came from. I don't
right.
I don't know what it, because I'm not, again, I'm a pinner, not a
Hmm.
evidently winner.
Oh well, if you're pinning, you're winning. So, you know, I think that's good if you're pinning on Pinterest already. But to kind of like put it this way, so you have certain things you like on Pinterest, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
you like small houses, you like tattoos. Uh, there's people on Pinterest that pin all sorts of things or like to just view images of all sorts of things. So if you are a pinner, which you are, you understand the whole kind of culture of Pinterest is like people are just searching for stuff, you know? And a good portion of those people will actually click on the pins and go to whoever put that pins up website. And that's how you can generate a lot of new people viewing your business or whatever it is that you're doing.
So you're
Um,
telling me that I missed out on all these opportunities because I just pin and then let it go? Because I think of it more as a collage board rather than a business opportunity. And you're telling me with all these people that are like hanging out in my world, I'm missing out?
well, with some small tweaks, you could probably be tapping into some more viewers to your website and all that stuff for sure. You know, I mean, if you're pinning already, you're doing most of the work. You know, it's just about kind of making sure that your pins are clickable, making sure that the stuff that you're pinning is related to what people around you are like what you're it's related to what you're doing, but also that by doing so you're attracting the right people into your profile to kind of see what you're all about. And then on top of that, like pinning consistently, showing what your business actually is, that kind of stuff. So if you know, is this like a random profile you have, or is it related to like to kind of your show, or is it like this is more of like a personal Pinterest?
It's kind of both. I think I'm an empowerment coach, so I don't have personal anymore. My
Okay,
life is my work.
right.
And so, because of authenticity and my real strong feelings about transparency, people pretty much know everything. There's nothing
Mm,
that is hidden in my world. So, it's exciting because I really honestly have always used Pinterest as a little creative, inspirational place where I go every now and then. And then the other day
right.
it was, I was like, wow, that's more than I have on Twitter. Holy smokes.
Well, that's great. That means you have a lot of opportunity there. It means that you have a following there, and you have people that would be very interested in probably hearing more from you and how you can help them. So,
So
I think
for us old folks that watch this show, take us down in a very simple 380-degree language. Um, what is the interest in Pinterest outside of just making a collage? I mean, where does that really come from?
sure. So essentially, Pinterest has just kind of similar to what you talked about. Like there's people that just like to go on there to discover stuff, discover new things. In your case, it's like new types of tattoos and cute little houses and stuff like that. Other people go on there for health tips, or they go on there for, they're looking to discover more about products for their dog, or they're looking for gift ideas for their spouse, or whatever it is. So it's just basically a massive visual search engine discovery platform. So once you kind of understand that, you can kind of say, okay, there's people on here that are looking for what I have. Maybe you're an empowerment coach like like meditation is big on there, yoga, anything related to there's a lot of like inspirational quotes and things of that nature on there. So those are all types of people that might be perfect for your type of business. So it's like if you get on there and you start putting out content, like just basically putting up pins that are within the realm of what you're doing. When you do that, if you optimize the pin correctly, meaning you are adding your link to your website, but you're also putting in the right keywords, because again, it is a visual search engine and it's very keyword driven. So you put a pin up there. If you go into that little description section, because basically you could be pinning all day, but unless you're optimizing that description, you're not going to get in front of the right people. So for example, if you're an empowerment coach, maybe you're going to choose 5 keywords for this you're putting up a quote, right? Maybe it's a quote that you said, maybe it's a quote that you like. What are the 5 keywords that are related to that? Maybe empowerment is one, maybe motivational quotes is another. And what you want to do is when you write that little description, you make sure to include all 5 of those keywords within the paragraph or whatever it is you put on the description. When you put that up, that's sending a signal to Pinterest what this pin is about. What type of people are going to like this pin?
So when you do the body of it, do you hashtag it like you would in Twitter? Or I'm Pinterest as old as I am, and I'm surprised that this is even a conversation. I thought it kind of fiddled out. So this is exciting.
Pinterest is getting bigger, actually. It's because the interesting thing about Pinterest, believe it or not, this switch from being more of a social media platform to a search engine is recent. And I think that is what's causing this massive growth, this kind of like renaissance of Pinterest kind of coming back. So I think once you understand that it's really based on the search engine. And so to answer your question, it's like you want to think of 5 keywords. You want to put a little paragraph in there, try to include all the keywords. You can include hashtags. So hashtags are a thing on Pinterest, just like they are on Twitter or Instagram. But you don't want to only do hashtags. So like you want to make sure that you have like the 5 keywords in the paragraph. And then at the same time, if you want to add 3 hashtags at the bottom, feel free to do that. I would not recommend hashtagging like 50 different things. It's a little different than other platforms. I know on Instagram, people add like 50 hashtags to every post they put up. You don't want to do this with Pinterest. You want to make sure that in your main paragraph, you have those 5 keywords. And then if you want to add 2-3 hashtags at the bottom for a little bit more optimization, you can do that as well. But it's very keyword driven.
Let's go to why you like Pinterest. Again, you're a little younger than me. So why Pinterest?
So to be honest with you, when I was getting started online, I've left my day job in September 2015. And I knew it was actually a very quick decision. I knew in the beginning of 2015, I was going to leave my 9-to-5. I was going to work for myself, whatever that meant, or whatever, had been growing my business for about 1.5 years at that point, but it was something that kept progressing. And at the time I realized, it was like, what separates, I see people that are really crushing it and I see other people that are struggling. Like, what really separates the two people? All, in all cases, they all had, plenty of people who were struggling had a really nice website, a really nice show in many cases, but they were struggling to get reach. They were struggling to get in front of people. And I realized the difference really was that some people were going out there and actually putting their stuff out there the right way, and other people weren't. And that was 90% of the discrepancy. So at that time in 2015, I was trying a bunch of different things online. And one of the things I tried was Pinterest marketing. So I built a website, and this website wasn't even related to my marketing business. It was just a niche-based website. It was basically about dogs. And I was able to drive over 1 million visitors very quickly from Pinterest to that website. And that's when I said, all right, there's something really powerful here.
Yeah,
This
but
is something
everybody
that,
likes dogs. I mean, I would be on that website. I love my pups.
well, yeah.
That's an easy
So
win.
it is, but put it this way, there's a motivation, like you got to have a niche that's like fairly popular. So health, wealth, relationships, anything kind of in that space, finance, whatever, even like personal development and stuff like that falls under health, in my opinion. All of that stuff is, and this is just goes back to kind of validating your niche, right? So like if you're in some obscure niche, like, I don't know, like polka dotted polka dancing, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, you're probably not going to have a huge audience on Pinterest. But if your business is in marketing, or you're an agency of some sort, or you're a coach, generally some sort of, maybe a health coach, or like, empowerment coach, life coach, that kind of stuff, your people are on there. There's so many people on Pinterest that are in the big kind of niches. But basically, to your point, yeah, that was a dog related website. But I've been able to help people replicate this in a variety of different niches, including health, including motivation. Actually, there's a meditation website we were able to help do extremely well on Pinterest. So it's really just about getting in front of those keywords. And, it's quite easy to actually validate your niche on Pinterest. You can actually go to search bar, you can type in meditation, and you can sort by account. So if you sort by account, if you go down, you can actually see, okay, here's a competitor, here's another person in my niche, and they're getting 2 million viewers a month. Or this person's getting 170,000 viewers a month. And you could say, okay, the audience is here because there's other people in my niche that are getting that amount of traffic. So when you validate it, that is an important part of the process, by the way. That's what I teach people, is that you do have to validate your niche to make sure that it's on there. But most niches, besides really obscure kind of things that I haven't seen yet, are going to be on Pinterest. There's going to be an audience for you.
Is Alexia still a thing?
Alexia. What is Alexia?
So you went blank. That really aged us. So it used to be a website that you would go on and you would type in a company, and then it would populate the company's popularity, and then it would populate the SEO terms and in order of what was most popular. So it must not be.
You don't mean the Alexa ranking, do you, by chance?
Yes, that's it. Alexa.
Oh, Alexa ranking, yeah.
Okay.
It's still a thing.
Yeah, I mean, mixed up.
Yeah, it was Alexa, but no, it's still a thing. You can definitely do that and check out search results. What I like about Pinterest, though, is that you can actually start getting traffic much faster. Whereas like with Google, if you're doing search engine optimization, many times you're spending 6 months plus to start getting some traction. But with Pinterest, you can literally start getting traffic the same week, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So, but yeah, I mean, Google SEO is important for anyone running a business. So Pinterest, Google SEO, those are things that everyone should be looking into. I mean, like I make sure that all my websites are optimized. If you type my name in, the first thing that pops up is my website. So that's an important part of the equation as well. But for people who want to start getting some viewership fast, within the next week or two, Pinterest is just, it can't be beat. I've tried everything, and for organic growth, the fastest results I've been able to see is with Pinterest.
So because this show doesn't normally have salespeople or marketing or any of that on, I want to break it, what organic growth means. I'm huge about organic growth. I know what it means, but not everybody that's watching this does. They're all beginners.
Absolutely. So organic growth just means growing organically or growing naturally without the use of paid advertising, and just kind of building your online presence, your digital footprint with content and putting things out there the natural way, and just working on getting consistently discovered in an evergreen, ongoing fashion. That's my definition of organic marketing, at least.
And from my marketing years, long time ago, that was really the most fantastic way to have long-term relationship and customers was from organic growth. The sweet cherries at the end of the tree that were getting ready to fall off anyway were the paid advertisements. Is that still the same way?
I would say the, organic growth, referral marketing, that kind of stuff I don't think that's ever going anywhere. I think that's always going to be a piece of the puzzle. I think paid ads do have their place as well. Like, for example, I do use paid ads in my business as well. I think both have their place. I think it's one of those things where I think there's not really a right or wrong answer when it comes to marketing. It's kind of like, find what works for you. In many cases, a lot of people don't have the time or the money to learn paid advertising. So that is why I love organic growth and why I like helping people grow organically. Because, especially if you're a beginner, you might not have $10,000 in ad budget or the skills to turn that into some sort of return on investment, but if you're growing organically, if you're just focusing on putting out great content, that's going to come back to you, as you probably know.
So, Stefan, we're kind of at the end of the show already. Can you believe that? It goes by like a time warp. Where do we find more information about you? And are you doing any classes or coaching or blogs things?
I have a website which has a lot of great free information about how you can get started growing your business organically through Pinterest. I also have some more information on there outside of Pinterest, but my website is actiontakingblogger.com. And I do have courses, coaching, all of that stuff as well. So if people are interested in pursuing more, I also have done for you agency services. But people are welcome to come to the website. I have a ton of free blog content if people want to learn more about Pinterest and other ways that you can kind of grow your business.
Where are you in the world?
I am in Astoria, Queens, New York. How about you?
Oh, Queens. We know the Queens. I drive through Queens 4 times a year.
Wow.
I'm
okay.
the one who's popping the Run DMC. Everybody does.
Oh.
Anyway, I live in Florida.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, so you know what the climate is here in the U.S. with the confusion and the chaos, and it's just wow. All I can say is wow. But
it's a crazy time.
Oh my God. And so I think it's really a wonderful time to start an online presence. But for those people who don't have an online presence, like, imagine an octopus getting off a boat or something and coming onto land with sea legs. What do you recommend your first 3 steps? Do you go out and buy a domain, or do you actually quantify what it is that you want to do? Like, what are your steps?
It starts offline. It starts with what problem are you solving? It starts with, do you have a valid problem that you can solve? Is your product something that people actually need, that people actually want? And do you have a decent idea of what differentiates you from everybody else? Why are you better? Why is your product better? If your product is you, why are you better? And then from there, you kind of move on to the next step. And it's actually funny. I was just talking. I have one of my business ventures is a software that we're selling, and my business partner is the developer of the software. I'm more the marketer. And we were talking about how the product is just so good. It solves a massive problem that, everyone talks about, how to create winning, because we're using a lot of paid advertising for that product. And everyone always says, how to, the Facebook ads guru who knows how to go in there and do all those great things. At the end of the day, those people are not going to take on certain products that they don't think are going to be able to be profitable. I don't care how good you are with advertising. If the product itself is not good, it doesn't matter how great you advertise it. No one's going to buy it. So it starts with your product. It starts with you. What are you creating? What are you putting out there that's actually going to be able to help people? And is it something people need? And is it something that people could say, okay, I need that, and this is definitely better than the competition? So it starts with that. I think from there, once you have a pretty good idea, and you can find that out by doing a lot of research online. Look at your competition. Look at what they're doing. Don't reinvent the wheel in a lot of cases. Just be slightly better than your competition. From there, go out there and get your domain, and then build your website around that message that you've already validated.
So say if you gave somebody a challenge, would it be a 90-day challenge before you bought your domain? Or is that really dependent on whether or not it's a widget versus a coaching?
That's it. I think
it's a tough question.
It's a tough question. I think it's probably not a one size fits all. I think in many cases it's gonna depend on, you know, how quickly you can validate. Like in many cases, because I've been doing this for a while, there's certain things that I can put out there and go buy a domain for and put out there that I know is going to be successful because I've been doing this for so long. There's people that are just starting that are going to need to go through a little bit of that learning process. But I mean, in general, yeah, probably 2 to 3 months of research to go out there and say, you know, to start having a pretty good idea of like, what do you want to sell? What are you good at? What problem can you solve for people? And then seeing what your competition is doing, I think is vital, is so important. If you can see what your competition is doing, you have a baseline starting point. At least you can see, okay, who are they marketing to? What problems are they claiming that they can solve? And then you can kind of build on that for yourself.
Well, and I wonder if people understand that the research is really the most important part of the business. Once you understand and wrap your head around what it is that you're doing, you can grab the verbs and the key words and go from there. And that's what makes you successful. There are a lot of people who just throw stuff to the fan and expect it to stick, and it don't work.
100%. I used to do that in the beginning too. You know, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, it's about just having, I would just put up random stuff and say, oh, well, this is in a popular niche or whatever. You have to make sure that your product is somewhat unique. Again, in many cases, your product could be you. But what differentiates you? What makes you relatable? What makes you something people could say, I need this? You know, and if you focus, the more you focus on that, like what you said, the technology you can always add later on, but you got to make sure that your foundation is strong.
Absolutely. And you have to be very confident in what you do, because it's a dog eat dog world right now. And boy, the advertising and the marketing, Lord,
I
it's
know.
hard. And even for those of us who are seasoned, I find it's harder right now during the pandemic.
A lot more competition, yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone's online. So, you know, like you said, everything's in your face.
Lord, it is. All right. So, Stefan, can you tell us one more time where we can find more information about you? And do you have anything fun coming up for the end of the year before 2021? Because God knows if the Mayan calendar was correct.
Do I have anything fun coming up? Well, I'm turning 30 this year, so I'm probably going to go to the Poconos with a few friends just to do some sort of celebration. Probably go skiing for the first time. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's probably the one fun thing I'll do before the end of the year. The rest of the time, I'm just going to be working and hoping that things improve. You know, hopefully sooner rather than later. But my website again is actiontakingblogger.com.
Awesome. Stefan, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your wisdom on my very short show. And hey, I might actually download Pinterest because
You should.
I don't have it anymore, but evidently I'm missing out.
Yeah, I know. You can definitely get a lot of growth. So.
Absolutely. All right. Take care.
Thank you, Rusty. Take care.
Bye, Stefan. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rusty. I'm Rusty, and I know this was a plot twist. I don't have many people on like this, but it does follow the last 2 books that I wrote in regards to rebuilding your life, doing something that inspires you, excites you. What sets your soul on fire? What's your cosmic orgasm? I mean, we all have something that we absolutely love to do. What is it that we want to do when we grow up? COVID has actually been a great time to peck out of your shell and do something for you. Whoa, you? Yeah, you. Why not? Go out and have some fun. Download Pinterest. Figure it out what it is that you want to sell or advocate for or consult on. You know, it's a new world. We're all changing, and maybe George Jetson and Jane, his wife, were actually correct. Who knows? Until next time, 2 cookies, not 4. Play with some clay or water balloons. Know that you're loved. Know that you're beautiful. And my printer, I think, is possessed. You can hear it. Anyway.